Hello, everyone. Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today's guest is Stephanie Gowanlock. She is a firefighter, a mom of two, and a weightlifting competitor. How you doing today, Stephanie?
Hi, Brad. Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. How's your day going so far?
Awesome. The day's been great so far. Like the sun is shining, and so I'm pretty happy about that. What about you?
Yeah, the sun's shining, so that's always a good start to the day when the sun's out. It makes things that much better, right?
100% better. Just kind of puts a smile on your face, just that warm feeling on your face when you walk out the door. It's like, oh, there's nothing like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The warmth of the sun, and it feels so good, especially since we're in this current state of lockdown and the weather's been so iffy here in Toronto and rain. Yes. One day it's cold, and it's nice to have warmth and sunshine for a change.
I think we've never appreciated the sun so much than after being in lockdown. You know?
Absolutely.
It's the little things in life.
Yeah. So you're a firefighter, a mom of two. You're very, very into athletics and fitness, and you did a bit of teaching and coaching gymnastics. You were involved in cheerleading at one point. You were into CrossFit, weightlift training. Like,
everything.
How do you have the time for all of this?
Oh my goodness, I know. It's actually it's difficult with the kids now. I mean, working 24-hour shifts definitely is an advantage for me. Because that gives me more time off, and as well as my husband is a firefighter and he works 24-hour shifts. So we don't, we have more time together at home, both of us, both parents. So one parent can say, okay, I'm going to go do a workout in the garage while you watch the kids, and vice versa. So that makes it a little bit easier with having that support. I have my parents around as well that live nearby that kind of love spending their time with the kids. So having that support from them is what allows me to be able to compete in weightlifting and do some of these extra things. Whereas I know it's hard for a lot of parents to really stay committed in a sport when they don't have the help around. So that's a big thing for me. But yeah, I've been involved in so much over the years, and it's kind of like I've merged from one sport to the next and always have been competitive in something in my life. I don't know why. I can't help it. It's just something that drives me. I find something that I'm passionate about, and I just want to, be the best at that.
Right. Well, that's good. I mean, competitive nature is always good too. So,
for sure.
And nothing wrong with striving and wanting to be the best at what you do.
No, nothing at all. I mean, it's just it's in some people's nature.
Yep.
And, if people try to take that away from you, it's just something that you refuse, because I need that in my life. It's not only a physical thing, keeping fit for my job and staying in sports, but also just like a mental training and a stress reliever, to be honest.
Motivator too, I would imagine.
Oh my goodness, such a motivator. I'm able to set goals and achieve them, whereas I want to do this specific thing, and because I have that ability to set that goal, I can I have something to work towards. That's motivation to keep going and to stay fit, because I want to be good at my job. I don't want to let myself go. And especially as I get older and it becomes harder, I don't want that. I want to be able to be confident in what I do in my job, be able to, if they ask me to do something, I'm not going to be worried that I have to run up all those stairs with that high-rise pack and all that gear and be completely out of breath before I even get to the fire. Like if someone needs me, I don't want to have to be like, sorry, I can't help you. I'm a little bit out of breath here. Like, I'm too tired.
Give me a couple minutes while I catch my breath.
Exactly. Like, just hold on a second. Just burn a little bit longer while I, catch my breath. No, like, you can't do that in this field, right?
It's not an option.
and people are trusting you to be there and be prepared for them. So you don't want to let them down, right?
Yeah, 100%. So how did the whole firefighting thing come about? Is that something you've always had in you? You've always known you wanted to be a firefighter?
So I didn't, at the beginning when I was young, I didn't know until I was about 16. So I knew from a fairly young age. I think I was in grade 10 or something, whatever. That must be like 16 years old.
Right.
But my dad was a firefighter my whole life. He's been 34 years. He's retired now. So that's what kind of kickstarted me. I started to become interested in him and his job, and thought to myself, oh, that, I never really thought about it, but I would like to try. We had a co-op at our high school. So I was like, what all these classes I'm taking, it's like, all I want to do is phys ed and science. I like that. But I was like, I don't really like English or math. And like, what am I going to do? So I decided to take that co-op and did an application and got the position on the fire department, the same department my dad was on.
Okay.
And so that gave me a little inside eye opener to see what the job was all about, from the inside. They let me ride on the trucks, and you weren't allowed to go into calls, but you got to wear the gear and just do the training at the stations. And I was like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, you get to put on this big suit and jump into the water, and you're doing when it's freezing cold in the ice, we're doing ice water rescue, and we're climbing ladders, and we're, going to the burn tower and just doing cool things, like using equipment that most people would never get to even get up close to, cutting holes in cars and things like that. Was like, wow, this is definitely for me. I'm a very physical person. So I was like, well, not only do I see how much pride my dad takes in this job, and like, I love that. I want to also do this because I don't want to sit around in an office for the rest of my life. That's just not me. I want to be able to get out there and be physical and do all these cool things. Like, it's exciting,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was what initially intrigued me there, from a young age. So at that point, I just decided, I don't know what else I'd rather do more. So I'm going to sign up for school, fire pre-service, I went to Texas for that. There was a waiting list for 2 years. So I signed up, at the end of high school, and had to wait the 2 years to go. So once I did, I went to the school and did the training, and I loved it even more, being there. So that was my lead into wanting to become a firefighter.
Yeah. And how long have you been a firefighter now?
And now I've been on the job for almost 13 years in Hamilton.
Okay. And you absolutely love it.
I absolutely love it. It is the best job in the world. I mean, it does have its ups and downs, and it's not for everyone, but I think you have to have that sort of mental capacity to do a job like this. And I know that I have that. So, seeing some of the bad things I see, yes, it can be hard at times. You will have those kind of memories that you can't let go of certain situations. But my dad always would say, like, these things are going to happen regardless, and at least you're there to help.
Yeah.
You're going to be that person that they're going to trust in you, and you're going to be that person to help. Someone's got to do it, right?
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening regardless. People are going to die regardless. People are going to get hurt regardless. You're just there to help, and you're going to be there to make it better.
Now, is it as tough? You said there was a 2-year waiting list when you first joined. Has it gotten tougher? Have the restrictions gotten tougher for people who want to join the firefighting world?
I'm not sure if, because I've been out of the loop a little while now, if it's gotten tougher. It's changed a little bit, because when I was applying, my sister and I actually went together. She's a firefighter as well.
Awesome.
It runs in my family.
Yes.
But we went to school together. We happened to get in. We got her in as well. And there was just the two of us in a class of 30 men. It was just the two of us for women. So at that time, there was always 30 guys, 1 girl, 30 guys, 2 girls every class. So it was only a few here and there. I think the department, when I got hired, only had about, I want to say 6 women on the job, maybe less. And in my class, there was 3 women in my group. We had split it in half, and there was 2 in the other half. So we had the most. One ended up getting fired, and the other one, she went somewhere else. So we ended up with 3 out of 30 people, for women, right? So then every year they would hire 1 woman, and so on. So it's getting a little better now with more women are becoming less scared to do these kinds of jobs and become firefighters. I'm hoping that I'm the type of person, I know I've motivated women to do the job. I have a friend that she's a lot younger than me, and she's seen what I was doing, and she was like, wow, this is awesome. I want to do this too. And she became a firefighter. She worked hard at it, and I helped her, and stuff like that. So I think it's getting better with that. There was the training and stuff like that. I don't know if it's harder or if it's the same, because I haven't really been in it, but I imagine it's sort of similar.
Right. Now, as you said, firefighting is predominantly a male-dominated world. Did you face any adversity or issues with that whole thing when you were coming up, being a woman entering into that world? And if so, how to deal with those?
No, totally. I think they still happen, but it's getting a lot better now, because some of the old school men, the old way of thinking, they just weren't used to having women on the job. It was a man's job. It was like, nope, women don't do this job. So it's hard to change somebody's view when, they've been in that for so long. That's, it's hard to break people's habits. So that's their thought process. So when I first got on, even before I got hired in Hamilton, I applied to another city where I had an interview, and I didn't get the job. And that was my first interview ever. And I had no idea what to wear, what do I do when I go in there? This is so scary, right? I'm going to be in a room, sitting around a table with all these chiefs, these men, maybe one human resource man or lady, mostly men though. And you're like, oh my God, I'm 23 years old or 22 years old at the time.
Yeah.
It was super scary. Right. And I didn't get the job, and I just, because I knew I had friends that had already been hired in some places. I had heard that the reason that I didn't get that job was because I looked too pretty.
Oh my God.
And I was like, wow, that is so shitty to hear. I'm sorry. I don't
That's
know if I
horrible.
swear. Isn't that awful? I mean, and that's just a rumor, but it seems like that where it's like, oh my God, is that a thing? Like, that's so unfair, right? Like my God. And obviously they wouldn't tell me that to my face, but this is just what I heard in the background. And I'm thinking, does this happen all the time? So going into my next interview in Hamilton, I decided I don't want to be judged on how I look. So, the first interview I wore a nice fitted suit with maybe my hair was down. I wore some makeup to look nice, what you do for a normal interview. Yeah. Well, next time I decided I'm slicking my hair back, putting it in a bun, no makeup, men's shoes, baggy clothes. Like, it just looked horrible. But it worked. I mean, people weren't looking at me as like, oh, just the pretty girl. They're listening to what I'm saying and not judging me based on my looks, right? So I thought, I'm just going to eliminate that. I shouldn't have to, but, people still at that stage 13 years ago were judging. So I thought, I don't want to be judged on my looks. I know that I'm a strong person that can do this job, and it shouldn't matter, right? So so after that, I had told a few other girls that have recently been hired sort of the same advice. I'm like, you know what, don't go in there wearing too much makeup and your hair down. Just don't take that factor out. It's not fair that you have to do that, but at least they're not going to be looking at you and judging you, and they can just listen to what you're saying in your interview, right? And judge you just like everybody else. Yeah.
I love that you said strong person, not strong woman. Yeah. I think that's amazing. I mean, I think it's horrible that kind of shit in 2020. I mean, yes, this happened years ago when you first joined, but I'm sure
it's still
there's a bit of it that's still prevalent there. And I think it's absolutely horrible that women who are completely capable of doing the job still have to dress down and adjust how you look because I think that's absolutely pathetic.
Isn't that ridiculous? I know. And it's sad because I really wanted this job, and I was like, I know I will be good at this job, and I'm so passionate about it. And that's a big reason why I know I'd be good at this job, because I really am passionate about it. I'm not just doing it for the benefits or for the time off, Yeah. And there's, even when, being on the job today now, and I know that I've built up the respect on the job. If you ask the guys I work with, that they'll say, they'd love to work with me, and that I'm a hard worker, and that I do a good job. So, I've earned a lot of respect in that, but that's taken years of working double hard, because they're always looking at you. If you're the girl in the class, all eyes are always on you. And it's terrible to say, but it's like any job. It's like high school. There's rumors going around. People are talking outside like, oh my God, did you see that girl that was hard? Oh, she made a mistake. She she didn't hook up to the hydrant properly, or she, was too slow getting that ladder up, or maybe she dropped a piece of equipment, or whatever it was. Same mistakes the guys were making too when you're brand new in training. But if you were the one that made the mistake, of course you're the only one that they're going to talk about, right?
Because you're a woman.
I hear it too now, like with new girls coming on in training. Oh, did you see that girl in training? She looks really small. I don't know if she's strong enough. And just little comments here and there that you hear that you're like, oh man, like you don't know them yet. Give them a chance. Training is tough for everybody. It's going to be a stressful, tough time for everyone to get through. It's new to you. So, I mean, there's men that are doing way worse things, that are in way worse shape, and nobody's talking about them, right? And I think it's getting a little better where you're hearing guys start to defend these women a bit more now, which I love. They're like, there's men doing the same mistakes. Like, you shouldn't judge these people until you've worked with them and you know for a fact that they are good or bad or not. Like, you can't form opinions based on someone else's rumor or opinion. See for yourself, right?
Do you advocate for these women?
I do. Like, I mean,
if there's, you can, I guess.
Yeah, and it's hard with the new girls in training because you're not really there. You're at your station. They're off in training. You don't really see them. But I always kind of, if I go up to the tower and if there's some new girls and I'm like, hey, if you guys ever need to talk about stuff or you need help, just, give me a call, or anytime I'm willing to give advice or help anyone. You know what I mean? Because I know how hard it is to be the only girl or the only few of the girls in the class where it's just, that eyes are on you and you just feel that constant stress. Like, yeah, things are going to be a little bit harder for women in some aspects, like using a sledgehammer to bust open a door. Yeah, it's going to take me a few more hits maybe than some big, huge guy, but I'm going to have to just work extra hard at it. And I'm definitely going to try my heart. And as long as you're doing that and you're putting the effort in, then yeah, there's going to be a place for everyone. We have a great crew now where there's all shapes and sizes of strengths. And we kind of fit into a place where it's like, hey, so-and-so, you're good at smashing doors in, go ahead, and then, you're really small and really energetic and agile. Well, you get up in that attic space and you crawl around and it's just easier for you. And we all have our place where we fit together as a team. It's like if we all had 300-pound giant men and that's our only shape that we had on the what about, we need some small people, we need people for other things, we need diversity, women for maybe there's a medical call where there's a stressed out woman or a pregnant woman, and sometimes nice to have, if you have that female, that might make a difference for that lady, so different things like that, right? There's just teamwork. We always say teamwork makes the dream work. So
yeah, that's true.
It's true. We work together well, we become more efficient, we do our job better, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's little things too. Like one more story quick. When I went, it was just probably like 6-7 years ago. I got sent to fill out at a different station on a different shift where you don't know anyone. So you're just a worker. You go in there's a crew of 4. And the guy on the back, he was an older guy, probably retired now. He, like, when I went in there to, get my place on the back of the truck and check my equipment, he wouldn't even look at me. And I tried to say hello. He just ignored me and moved on. And I'm like, wow, what's with that guy? And someone's like, he doesn't like women on the job. And I was like, oh my God, that is so rude.
It is.
I'm just a human being, right? You don't even know me. Like, you don't know that I could do this job well or not, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's just funny how people act, and that's rare, but it did happen. It kind of makes you feel bad at first, but then you kind of realize, you know what? I don't need to take this personally. And who's this guy to judge me, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's even a good firefighter, and what I did was just killed him with kindness. And I was nice to him. And even if he didn't want to talk to me, I would talk to him. I kept doing it all day. And, I'd show him, like, I'd offer to do the shittiest jobs. Like, don't worry, I'll clean the toilets, or I'll grab the heavy equipment and carry it in. And you just sit back, And I think over time it changed him around. Like, he actually started to like me, which is, it's annoying that had to happen. But sometimes just, killing people with kindness and just not taking things personally can change a person around a little bit and maybe open their eyes a bit,
I don't know. I think it's horrible that
it's sad.
You had to deal with that.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're completely capable of doing the job and there's still bullshit like that you've got to deal with just because you're a woman.
Yeah, and it's not like I made some major mistakes. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're terrible. It's just, they just assume right off the bat without even knowing you, they judge you, right? And that still happens, I'm sure, but it's pretty bad that is happening. But I don't know. It's something that makes you a little bit your skin a little thicker and makes you a stronger person in the end, I guess.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I guess you really have to learn to toughen up and get a thick skin and not let that shit, try not to let that shit, but it's got to be tough at times, I'm sure.
Oh my God,
really
totally.
And really pisses you off at times because it's not right. In 2020, I still cannot believe that this shit happens.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think like, okay, we all know that, we're not judging men or women in the jobs now. Like, everyone's doing everything. Like, there's all these women nurses, but now there's so many men nurses. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, it's amazing that we're mixing everything up and forming these teams to do such good jobs together. But, and some people still don't really understand that. And you're like, I don't get it.
Well, I guess it's that, like you said earlier, it's that old boys school mentality, right?
Totally. And that, a lot of those old guys in our job anyway are retiring now. So there's very few. I'm actually quite senior now because of that. But, and, I'm going to be the senior leader that leads the team in the right direction instead of, the old school way and just continuing that old school way. Let's form our new way. Let's make it better. And I think if more people like me, men and women, start to do that, which they are, it's going to make the job that much better and just a better workplace for everyone, which if people are happy and they're working with less stress, they do a better job.
Exactly. And that's such a simple concept in all lines of work. If people are happy doing what they're doing and they enjoy it, they are going to do that much better. I love that you're taking that on and kind of advocating and just taking on that role that, if we all are happy and we all work together, then things will be so much better.
Oh, 100%. I mean, coming into, especially, Hamilton's pretty regimented and very military in their training. And it's a little bit better now. It used to be a lot more hardcore, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But, I just think it's not necessary. When we get a new recruit come in, we get a probationary coming in, we don't need to yell at him and make him feel bad or shame him because he didn't answer the phone or something. Yeah, we razz them a little bit in a joking manner, and that's still part of the department, and I still love that. I think it's fun. As long as everyone's having a good time with it, great. But, if they want to learn something, don't make them scared to come ask you a question because they don't remember something or they don't know something. I'd rather them come ask me and say, hey, Steph, can you help me with, setting up this piece of equipment in case we get this type of a call, instead of just pretending like they're just going to ignore it and pretend because they're too scared to come up to me because I would make fun of them. And that's how it used to be, where it's like, oh God, I don't want to ask because then it looks like I don't know it. And then they're going to make fun of me or just, all that kind of stuff. Or I'd rather just be like, let's just do it together. And then, I'll do it first. You watch me, then you do it and I'll help you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why can't we do that? Right. So I think that's what I want to do, is just try to help people learn in a way where they feel comfortable and not stressed out because they learn more and then they do a better job. Yeah.
I love it. What do you love most about being a firefighter?
So, there's so many good things. It's very exciting. I live off the whole adrenaline rush. Like when you get that call to that first alarm structure fire, man, your heart is beating and you're just like, oh my God, here we go. You don't know what you're going to be getting. You have no clue what you're running into. That feeling of like, holy crap, I'm about to do something. I might not come home tonight. I don't know. It's just crazy. I thrive on that though. I just love that kind of adrenaline and that excitement in it. And it's not like that all the time. We don't get fires every 5 seconds. So there's a lot of downtime where we're doing other calls or we're doing other training. And to be honest, going into work and it's like, oh, okay, we're going to, do some cleaning today. We're moving around and we're going to be, going out and doing inspections for a bit. We're out there in the public doing that kind of stuff. And then there's training. Okay, we're going to do rope. We do specialty rope rescue training. We get to go and hang off a cliff today. That is so cool. And we're learning and we're training. We're always building on it, right? And it's not to me, just sitting in an office 9 to 5, oh man, dreadful. I'm just counting down the hours till I get home. Meanwhile, my day's oh my God, it's almost time to go home. We've had such a fun day, doing all this training and running calls in between and just working as, teamwork is big for me. I love working with people, that are like-minded. Yeah. So just all of that stuff, you never know what each day is going to be too. It's always different. We don't do the same thing every day. It's not such a routine. It breaks up the monotony, right? Yeah, it does. So it makes you love your job more because you're like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen today. What are we going to end up doing today? Are we going to be doing our usual stuff like training, or are we going to spend 4 hours at this crazy call that, involves so much random on the spot decision making and just my God, the chaos, the adrenaline, all of it. I love the whole aspect. I love being a part of the community. I love the sense of pride that the job gives me. I know that I'm there to help in the community and that, people are putting their trust into me. And I'm always training and ready kind of to risk my life for strangers. That's kind of a cool thing, right?
For sure. I am. It's got to feel amazing.
Yeah. So
knowing that you make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. That makes me love it so much.
So how did the whole weightlifting thing come about? How long have you been involved in that world?
So weightlifting I've been involved in for just about maybe 4 years now. And that was kind of a little on and off because I did have 2 kids. Mm-hmm. So I had a boy, my first boy, Grayson. And then after him, I was into CrossFit. CrossFit kind of led me into weightlifting. Okay. And I decided, I really love the heavy lifting portion of CrossFit. And I do love the skills, but I really don't love the cardio. I was killing myself here doing these really fast paced workouts. I can't breathe. I'm I just want to lift the heavy weights. I want to do the clean and jerks. I want to do the snatches. And I was kind of really crappy at snatches and things like that. And I was I want to learn how to do this better. So maybe I'll just, lay low on the circuits, the WODs for a while and just focus on fixing my technique for weightlifting. Right. And I learned really quickly and I started to just get really passionate about it. And I love how technical it is. oh my God, this is so cool. I'm just like, I've always been that way. Like I'm working at something and I will work at it till I get good at it. And I was able to qualify and make it to nationals, Canadian nationals, like in my first year weightlifting.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So I was like, wow, that's an achievement. Like a lot of people, it takes years
to it is.
Hit those qualifying numbers. Like it's tough. So I was really happy to be going to Canadian nationals my first year. I'm like, wow, maybe I'm okay at this sport. Yeah. Pretty cool, right?
That's very cool. Holy shit. Your first year?
Yeah. So it's 1 year. And I'm like, there you go. I went to provincials. I think, what did I place third or something at provincials? Amazing. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to nationals. I qualified. Oh my God, I qualified. This is so cool. So that gave me more motivation, right? When you see results, you want more.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to, I look back now 4 years even, and that's not a long time in the sport. Like people are doing it. They're not even good till 10 years, right? It takes time. And I look back at that nationals and I competed and I thought that my snatch looked pretty good. And I'm like, oh God, that's horrible. But like, I was there, I did it, but now I've just improved so much in my technique. And this year I won provincials after my second child. So I was happy to have a really solid comeback.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. And I qualified for nationals again, which was supposed to be last weekend, but that didn't happen, obviously, which is disappointing. But we can't really do anything about that. So we're just kind of continue to train. Right. So I kind of came from CrossFit and I just had to develop this love for the heavy lifting, and it felt so good to do those lifts daily. And it was something that I just felt like I kept wanting to go back to. So I'm like, okay, well, never mind CrossFit now. I'm going to emerge into weightlifting and just stick to that. I think as you get older too, CrossFit can be really hard weightlifting's hard on the body too, but I feel like old people can do weightlifting a little bit longer than CrossFit. CrossFit's like pretty intense. Like you are, doing a lot of cardio, a lot of those crazy WODs and those muscle ups and crazy skills that I'm like, I don't really need to do that stuff that often. It's hard on the joints and everything. Where the weightlifting, same thing. It can be hard, but you're focusing on technique so much that when you hit perfect positions, it's not so hard on your joints,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll probably take a toll on me in the future, but so will any sport, right?
Yeah, very true. Very true. So how did the whole CrossFit thing come about then? You mentioned
CrossFit. Actually, I had been in competitive cheerleading for 17 years, like since grade 7, I think I started, and I was obsessed. I loved it. It was just amazing. I went from lifting people to lifting weights now, I guess. So it's sort of similar in a way, like, cheerleading was awesome, but in the end, I kept trying to quit, and then they kept asking me, Steph, can you come back for another year? And can you come to Worlds? Someone got hurt. Okay, I'll be an alternate then. Yeah. It's like almost 30 years old, and I'm like, oh, my body is like, it's tumbling on these hard floors. And I mean, we had some sprung floors, but I was on Team Canada for a couple of years. We didn't have the spring floors, right? So we were competing on these hard mats on concrete, which is like, oh my God, my body. It only takes so much, right? So I thought, okay, like I have, this job now, and I've been coaching and I'm doing a million things, right? I had to kind of pick and choose. And my husband had started CrossFit and was like, hey, you should try CrossFit. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It looks horrible. But of course I went and tried the first workout, and I was like, oh my God, I thought I was going to die. I thought I was in shape. And then I did CrossFit workout and I was like, I'm going to die. It was so hard. But I thought, because it feels so hard and uncomfortable, maybe if I stick with it for a while, it will, make me stronger at my sport. It'll make me stronger cheerleader. It'll make me a better firefighter, all these things. So I stuck with it and I started to love it. Within a couple months of CrossFitting, actually, I ended up going to the CrossFit regionals that year. Because on a team,
you're an animal, Stephanie.
I just, I have the strength to
I love it.
Cheerleading over the years, so I think it translates over to other sports well, right? Having a gymnastics background, I did power tumbling as well when I was cheerleading. So just having that background in the gymnastics, I'd recommend it to anyone that's starting young to just have that background a little bit. It translates over to sports so well. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. The team was like, we need one more girl that can snatch these really heavy dumbbells. Mm-hmm. And I was like the only one that could do it randomly. Yeah. So you're on the team. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I remember my first CrossFit workout doing a bunch of deadlifts with a partner and handstand push-ups. And I remember running back to the finish line at regionals thinking, I can't run. I can't feel my legs. I think something's wrong with me. And I laid down on the floor like, I don't know if I could do another workout, but I have like 5 more to go in 3 days or something. And
oh man.
Eventually that lactic acid subsided, and I just had never pushed myself that hard in anything,
Right.
I was like, holy crap. So I loved it because I developed so much strength from CrossFit. I learned so much technique, and I got stronger, and I got better at all my other sports. So it did translate over for that as well. And it helped me with my job, and I just pushed myself to new levels, and I was really happy about that, and happy with how my body was changing and becoming even stronger than before. So yeah, I loved doing that. And I ended up doing the regionals the next year with the team and stuff like that. And again, so that's just how it went until I decided to have kids. Coming back, I did it when I was pregnant, but coming back after pregnancy, CrossFit got me back in shape, just doing the basic stuff, just to, get my body back, to get myself back in shape. That's when I did my last competition at the Wadapalooza in Miami. There was this really cool competition on the water, stuff like jumping in the ocean and swim to this boat and then do a bunch of handstand push-ups and swim back, and it's nighttime and you might die. Like, it was so cool. I loved that part of it, the excitement of it. But also I was always doing it with a team or a partner, where sometimes as I did a lot of team sports, you can't control the results yourself. You're always like, okay, well, they're not into it. Your partner's not that into it that day. And they're like, who cares? I'm not really, whatever. I suck at this workout. But you're like, damn, I was really into it today, or vice versa. Maybe I was just shit the bed on a workout, and they're like, damn it. Like, and then we wouldn't win. And it's just like, you know what? I'm going to do a sport for a while, just individually. And just say, I would like to control my own results and see where that takes me. So that's another reason why I kind of merged into weightlifting there, just to see what I could do on my own for a bit.
Well, yeah, you're not reliant on anybody but yourself. So
no, exactly.
If something goes wrong, you only have yourself to blame.
Yeah, it's myself. I'm like, if I have great results, I was me. If I fail, well, that was my own fault, right?
Yeah. What is it that you love most about competition?
So, again, this whole back to, for me with weightlifting and stuff, because that's what I'm competing in now, is I do that whole thing about controlling my results. I love that aspect of it, being able to go out there and see where I'm at. Almost like competitions are like a guideline, like you're training so hard, but where am I really at? So it's like a test. You go out there, you compete under pressure, and then you kind of see, okay, this is where I'm at. I need to work on this, and that. And now I've set new goals and I'm working towards them. There's always some motivation to just keep going, Yeah. I love how it's scary. Like going to a first weightlifting competition, it's like, oh my God, this is terrifying. Like I am scared and nervous. I am by myself out here. Everybody in the room is looking at me. There is no music on. It is silent. There's a timer going. And I have 1 minute to do this lift, Yeah. And that I love like putting myself into those uncomfortable positions, because it builds you mentally. Yeah. It's like it prepares you, and that translates over to my job as well, where you kind of like you have to remain calm in these situations. You have to learn to train your mind to get over that fear and perform, because it's easy to get scared and bail out or something like, I'm too scared. I can't do it. I wasn't actually putting my full effort in. So to be able to like perform under pressure like that in those circumstances is huge mental training. And the best athletes are, they just have better mental training than some of the others, right?
Well, pushing outside your comfort zone, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, just having that pressure there, that's a big, like that cool feeling. And then again, the results. So when things do go well, what a good feeling when you hit a goal or you achieve something you had been working so hard for, putting so much effort into. Oh my God, there's no better feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Those are some of my, those are my reasons, I guess.
What profession other than the one you're currently in would you like to attempt in your life?
I think if I wasn't, so busy with doing everything right now. I mean, I've cut out a lot of stuff because, with the kids and stuff, I can only do one sport now.
Yeah.
But I think that I would love to just, I did coach a little bit of CrossFit for a while, and I do still do the occasional, we do something called strong gymnastics, where we teach people to do the CrossFit skills, like the hard skills, the gymnastics ones. That's my background, the muscle ups and the pull ups and the kipping and all that stuff. So I love that kind of stuff, and I'd love to do more of that and more, personal training and even starting my own fitness business. Maybe one day when the kids are in school and they're a little older and I have more time. I'd love to start something of my own. There's a million people starting fitness businesses and online stuff, but I think that I could really help people. So that's something I'd love to do. It's just right now it's not ideal because I need to spend the time with my kids, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what I would consider, other than, you know, firefighting. I love firefighting. Never going to quit that.
What was a turning point in your life, and how did it affect you?
I think CrossFit was probably my turning point. Like, I think that I've been doing sort of the same thing for so long. Cheerleading, it was my routine. Like, I did my school, I became a firefighter, I was cheerleading.
Yeah.
You know, I was always kind of doing the same thing, going to those world championships. I went to 6 worlds. I was on Team Canada for 2 years. And then I was like, you know, like starting that CrossFit thing, like really changed my life, I want to say, because it kind of like took me out of my comfort zone. It put me into a place where I was like, this is really hard and different. And it changed my body. It made me stronger. It made me more motivated. And it all translated over to my job and whatnot there. So, yeah, I think CrossFit was like, when I started that was the turning point for me in my life, where I was like, okay, I'm going to set some goals. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to be in my job. Like, it mentally built my strength. It made me more confident, where, you know, I would do things that I probably wouldn't have done before. Right. So yeah, I want to say that was my turning point for sure.
Very cool. Now, what did you give up to get where you are today?
So, you know, doing all these sports and whatnot, definitely have given up a lot of time with friends and given up on, you know, sort of certain relationships with people. That was a big one, because you can only, especially now with the kids, like it's sad. You have, you know, friends for a long time, but then you have kids and you still want to do these competitions, and you're like, I can't like spend time hanging out with friends, especially when they're like partying and drinking and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I've given up on a lot of that. Those were some sacrifices, because you can't, like, if you go drinking, then you're going to train, you're going to feel crappy.
Yeah.
The training is going to go crappy, and just an endless cycle of not good. Right. So, giving up on that stuff. I mean, I've had to sacrifice a little bit of family time, where I'm trying to really manage my time so I don't do that, because I really want to spend time with the kids and everything. But still, it does affect it a little bit. So that's a bit of a sacrifice. Just my body is a sacrifice. I mean, you're always, in any sport, you're going to deal with injuries. So that kind of sucks too, is like, I try my best to train smart and not to get injured, but every now and again, they just come out of nowhere, especially as you get older, right?
Yeah. It's going to.
So you're kind of like, you're always a little beat up. You have to spend the extra time, you know, when you're watching TV with the kids, you're stretching or you're doing some physiotherapy, because you're like, oh man, like I can only do so much, especially at the age of 36 with lifting heavy weights all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, mostly just giving up on those like social events and things like that. And obviously other sports I've had to give up, because if you want to be competitive in one sport, you have to put your all into it. You can't like do all these sports at once and then be good at all of them at once.
Yeah.
You have to give or take a little bit. So if I want to do, I mean, some people are freaks and they might be good at CrossFit and lifting or whatever, but they don't have kids or whatever. So there's always something, right? But I can't sit there. I used to play a little bit of touch football for fun too. And so I had to give that up, you know, and give up cheerleading, give up CrossFit, and just stick to weightlifting. So I could, you know, focus on being good at that. But yeah, those are the main things, I think.
Well, I guess, I mean, as we grow older too, your priorities in life change, of course, and partying, and partying's fun and everything, but it just, 100%. It's got to take a back seat, and there's things that are more important in life to deal with, you know, as we get older. So.
Yeah, it does. And even back when I was, you know, competing in cheerleading, because it's a team sport, I missed out on a lot of like fun trips, because my mom was pretty, when I was younger, she was like, oh, you can't miss a practice. Like, you've committed to that team. And if you miss a practice, then that whole pyramid section can't go up because we're missing that one person. What if everybody did that?
Yeah.
You know, then you wouldn't be able to perform. And it's like, I was committed. If I committed to a team or a sport or whatever, especially a team, then I can't go on this week trip because we have cheerleading practices all that week, right?
Yeah.
We have a big competition coming up. So I sacrificed a lot of, as a young age, doing fun trips with friends and stuff like that, which kind of sucks when you're young because that's when you want to do it. But
exactly.
I'm happy that I did it now. I mean, it didn't really matter. At the time, it seems like the end of the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now you're
that's your social life. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm like, oh my God, I get to sit on the couch. It's 9:00. I just want to eat some popcorn and relax. That's like what I look forward to, right?
Absolutely. To date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
So we won the Worlds twice. So 2 gold medals for cheerleading at the Worlds for Team Canada. So that was cool to have those medals. And just being on those first ever Team Canada teams, that's kind of the lead into cheerleading is becoming more of a sport, an actual sport where it gets to go to the Olympics. I'm like, oh, I was in the beginning of that. I started that. I was on that team when it was first there, right? So that was a really cool thing for me. And then just little things like, for me, a big thing, and I would have loved to have gone to nationals this year and see how I would have done, but provincials was my last competition I did. And winning my weight class and having the highest total to date that I've had, like I've hit PRs on all my lifts, had like a 6 for 6 day of hitting all my lifts, and just wow, like that was the best feeling ever, because I have a goal board and it's on my goal to get gold in 2019 at the provincials and hit whatever numbers, and I completed all those goals, and it was just the best feeling in the world to do that, and just to come back from having 2 kids and re-qualify for nationals right away was huge for me. So I'm looking to hit bigger goals in the future, but those are kind of the ones that stand out the most to me. I mean, I've had tons of wins and competitions over the years, like so many, but I mean, just those specific ones were kind of memorable to me.
Incredible accomplishments. You should be very proud.
Thank you.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become so successful?
Okay, so I think that, and it never used to be this way, but now my ability to not care what others think of me, and to just go out and be me and do what I'm passionate about. I think that is a big thing for me. I used to care a lot about what people thought about me, and I would always worry, and it holds you back, So I think that's a huge thing. My ability to step out of my comfort zone and face my fears, definitely getting better at that as I get older. Those are 2 major things.
It's hard to step outside your comfort zone when you're so comfortable for
totally
in a spot and doing something, and to be able to it takes a lot of courage to do it. Some people get there easier than others, but it's hard. It is not an easy thing to do. No,
not at all. I think I just want to say that to people now. It's like, you know what? Don't worry about what other people think.
Yeah.
Just do you. Just be you. If it makes you happy to do that, whatever it is that you're doing, then do it. Don't sit there and ponder about it and say, oh, I shouldn't do this maybe because other people might think. No, like go and do it because you feel it in your heart that you want to do it. Yeah. So I think that helps me a lot now. And yeah, you're right. It's so hard to step out of your comfort zone. We just get used to what's comfortable, and it's like, I'll just stick with it.
I think I'll stay here. Yeah.
And you're never going to get anywhere that way. You're never going to get bust through that. You're going to just always be stuck in that same old routine, right?
Exactly.
And if you want something more and you want to be successful, then you got to be able to step out of that.
That saying is nothing grows in comfort zones, right?
No, 100%. Yes. I love that. I live by the whole comfort zone thing. Like it's a major thing, right? And you'll ask anybody that's successful, what made you successful? I stepped out of my comfort zone. I faced my fears. I'm scared to death to do certain things, but I'm doing them. I'm like, hey, do something that scares you even once a week, and then you grow on that. Like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Like right now, talking on this podcast, I'm scared to death, but I'm doing it.
Oh, you're doing great. You have no reason to be scared whatsoever. You're doing awesome. You're rocking it.
Oh, thank you.
You're just telling me about your story, your journey, your life.
Yeah.
It's
and maybe next time you do something like that, it's a little easier, right?
Yes.
And then, as you build on that, it builds you that foundation. And eventually, like, you didn't even know that you built up this huge foundation. You're like, oh, wow, how did I get here, right?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go down a not so serious road. Well, I got a few random questions for you. What sound or noise do you absolutely love?
So, you know what I want to say first? I'll tell you in a second, but silence is golden.
Yes, it is.
When you have kids, that are boys that are young, running around screaming all day, and noises everywhere you go, smashing barbells.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to hear nothing at all, silence. But really, I do love music. Like, music is what really gets me going. When what a difference in doing like a lifting session in quiet, because we lift in silence when we're competing, but just to train with some good music, sometimes you just like, man, you could really get motivated. It really takes it to that next level to push a little harder sometimes. I think everyone would agree on that. But music is life. Like, having just good music is what I love.
I don't think I could live without music in my life.
I think nobody can do that.
I can't see it. I just couldn't.
No, can you imagine a world without music? Think of all the, when people get together and then you put some music on and it's like, wow, what a difference in this atmosphere, right?
It changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I love just, listening to music and picking songs that are going to pump me up and get me fired up for whatever I'm doing.
What type of stuff do you like to listen to?
I like a little mixture of everything. So I do love country music. Sometimes I just want to chill out, and even if I'm lifting, feel like, how do you lift this? Sometimes it just calms the mind, So that, and then I do like some hip hop and more upbeat kind of stuff, pop, the usual stuff like that. Not really big into rock or that kind of stuff, but mostly hip hop, pop, and country music for me.
Cool. What's something you're not very good at?
I'm really bad at saying no. I'm a Pisces, and Pisces are a little bit like, I call us pushovers, because we have a lot of empathy, and we want to, help people. And I always feel like I never want to make anybody else feel bad. I'll go out of my way to make them feel better, even if it makes me feel bad. Right. And, sometimes you get taken advantage for that. People ask you for favors, and you just don't want to say no. And they're like, well, I'll pay you to do this. And you're like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to do this for you because I want to help. I don't want you to pay me. And then, sometimes it just gets taken too far. Sometimes like, man, I would love to do everything for free in my life as much as possible. I still do. I try to, of course. Yeah. But there are times where you're like, oh my God, I just can't keep doing this. I don't have time. I can barely train myself, let alone, write free programs for everybody and do this kind of thing. I'd love to. And a lot of it comes from for me, it's mostly people, random people contacting me on Instagram that, hey, can you help me with how do I get stronger for firefighting and this and that? So maybe that's something I do in my future. Start a little program for firefighting.
There you go. Now you're thinking.
It gets, I want to, I'd love to do that. But I'm like, man, I'm getting so many of these all the time that I'm like, oh, I don't have time to respond to all of them and to write up a program for everybody. And I almost need to write up a paragraph out and be like, hey, cut and paste. Same question over and over, right? You're like, okay, that might be something I do in my future, but I have a hard time saying no. I'm obviously I try my best to be kind and nice to people as best as I can, and that's my main goal in life, is just to be humble and kind.
Well, that's all we can do. It always comes back to us. If we're good to people, it gets reciprocated somehow. Back
and you know what else I'm not good at? Basketball or hockey. Sports like that, oh my God, don't ask me to be on your basketball team. I'm terrible. I think that's because you get involved in sport, you're good at things that you like, that you were passionate about, and I have no desire to skate around on some ice with a stick. It's so boring to me, where I love lifting barbells. So it's just there's a lot of things I am not good at, for sure. But the list could go on forever, but those are some of the main.
What's something people seem to misunderstand about you?
To start off with, I think being an athlete at sort of an elite level, I think a lot of people, it's hard for people to understand that and to get why I'm doing what I do, where it's why are you spending so much time doing that? Why won't you come out drinking, or what? They don't understand because they've never had that drive in a sport or anything, or had that passion to achieve those goals where it means the world to you, and you don't want to hinder that with anything. So I think, that's something where people look at it more as oh, you're just obsessed. You're obsessed with that. And I'm like, well, I call it more passion than obsessed. I'm driven, I'm dedicated, I'm committed. I'm not really obsessed. Maybe I am a little obsessed.
Maybe a little bit. I think
how, people that don't understand being in something that's serious, they don't get it. They're more, they just look at it as like, you're just obsessed with it because you want to look good or something. It's not about, my body looking good. I love to look good. Of course, everyone does.
Yeah.
But it's more about like my body looks the way it does because it's the end result of, me training myself for performance. And I'm like, well, it's a bonus. Great. Like 2 birds, 1 stone. Right. But, I think it's more of just people understanding why you do those things and that, and again, with the whole nice thing and being taken advantage of, that's one of those things, right? Not saying no. It's like someone's like, hey, can I always say this to people, like someone came up to me in the winter and was like, hey, can I have your coat? I'd be like, yep, here you go. I'll just buy a new one. It's fine. You take it. Or you could really just like, I'll go out of my way and screw it. I'll get a new one. I just want to help somebody, Yeah. Oh God, pushover. I am a little bit of a pushover. I'm getting better at it though, because you don't want to be a complete pushover.
No,
I'm learning to say no to things now in my older age, for sure.
Well, as long as you're learning.
100%.
What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
I think seeing other athletes that are like-minded or people that are like-minded, inspires me that I'm not the only one. It makes you feel less crazy. Like, oh, I'm not the only one that's obsessed or, crazy about something. There are other people, so many other people doing the same thing, putting in that same effort and, seeing them achieve their own personal results from their goals is like, oh my God, that's so inspiring and amazing. Yeah. That helps me to keep motivated to, to push myself to be a better version of myself, better than I was yesterday. Right.
Right.
So that, and, I don't know, I think, what inspires me is looking back, like on your progress. So like, you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. Some days you're just like, oh, like I am doing the same thing for 3 years. Yeah. and I'm lifting the same numbers. Like what is happening? And then you look back at a video of yourself, like you said, competing or something. And you're like, oh my God, I have come a long way. Look how crappy this was then, but like so much better now. What a comparison. So, that keeps me motivated and inspired to keep going for myself. And again, it's always about, not looking at, there's better athletes than me in my sport by miles. And I can't sit there and say, oh, I want to be like that person because they're at a different point in their career. Right. Or I'm looking at like myself and I'm competing against myself. They always say that, but you really do. You really do compete against yourself. Each competition, I'm going to, open with a little bit higher on my opening lift instead of always opening at the same number and just, sticking with being comfortable. I know I can hit 78 kilos, so I'm going to open with that. No, I'm going to go 79 this time. Yeah. That kind of stuff. So, those are kind of the things that keep me inspired.
What makes you smile?
So other people smiling.
Oh, that's okay.
Honestly, like just
smiling is contagious.
Yeah, like positive vibes. People just that exert that positive vibe, and usually they're the ones smiling. People that are kind, they're always usually the ones smiling too. Like you ever walk through the grocery store and you just smile at someone just to see if they'll smile back, and then sometimes they don't, and you're like, oh, like. Just trying to make someone smile, even, Well, but if someone smiled at me, oh my God, I would totally smile back. Like that's
a smile
nice thing,
can totally make someone's day.
Yeah, 100%. Like the other thing that makes me smile is my kids, of course. Yes. They make me smile a lot. But knowing that I put so much work in and getting a result, like winning a competition, and I'm like, oh my God, like I actually did this, like achieved this goal. That makes me smile. Oh my God. But mostly, kindness, just positive vibes, people in general that are nice, and just being able to be at peace in your life, being free to just do the things you love to do, doing the things that make you happy, and just walking down the street sometimes. And just like you said, the sun is shining and you're like, oh, that feels so good. That makes me smile. Music makes me smile. So all those
so many things.
So many things make me smile. You'll ask anyone, they're like, you're the person that smiles the most out of anyone I know. Yes, I'm trying to just stay happy. Like that's what I want to be. I want to be happy in life.
Describe yourself in one word.
I would say passionate or driven.
Okay.
I'm not a quitter. When I find something, people will say like, man, you are the most like dedicated or driven person I know. Like you won't stop. Like you just keep going, and I'm like, when I'm, obviously I'm bubbly. I want to say like, that's the other thing I would say is like, yeah, I'm energetic or bubbly, but I think more than that, like I've always been that way. It's more that I'm passionate about things than I will, or driven about something that I'm kind of, I've always been like that in everything, with cheerleading, with sports, with family, with everything. Yeah. I want to do the best at it,
Yeah. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment to me is, having pushed through steps and failures to grow and become stronger and more confident in whatever it is you do as a person in general, and being able to use that to help motivate others to do the same.
I love that.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I mean, you built yourself up, to become this better, stronger person, and then what you should be doing with that is like using that to motivate another. You found yourself. Like, let's use that to motivate other people in the world to do the same, right? We wanted. Yeah.
I love it. What is one of your favorite quotes?
Okay. So I had a couple of things that I was thinking about here. I don't really have I don't know if they're quotes or not, or have more like sayings, if you want to call it that. I always go by be humble.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important. You see a lot of people that become successful, they change. They get into a position of power and they change. I've seen that at work with even a firefighter that became a captain and then became a chief. And they were a great leader as a firefighter, but then they became a captain and they just wanted to kind of boss people and became a chief. They even higher up and they just wanted to be in power and just be in charge and do things to put others down, And so be humble. Like, you don't need to change to get things done in your job, you can still lead and be a humble person. You can still be good at a sport and be a humble person. Like, remember where you started, right? Yes, everyone starts at the bottom. So I live by that. The other one we talked about already, great things never come from comfort zones. I mean, I don't know if that's a quote or something, but that's a huge thing, right? We talked about that already where, we're not going to be successful if we're always just doing the same thing, right?
That's right.
And I always love, my mom always said this, and I always say it too, is treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yes.
Right? I hate people that just aren't able to I know it's hard to put yourself in other people's positions, but step into someone else's shoes for a second and just think about how would they feel if you did this to them, right? Like, always treat people kindly, but always treat them the way you'd want to be treated. 100%. That is something I really try to focus on every day in my life and just keep thinking and putting myself in other people's positions.
It's not always easy to do, but it's not. We got to do it.
But at least if you're trying and you're able to do it sometimes, then that's a step forward. You might be, helping someone and making someone's day instead of ruining it, right?
For sure. What would you say is the best advice you've ever received?
I think that just the very basic standard of never give up and never quit. Like, things are not going to be perfect in any journey. Like, if it's getting to a specific career that you want, or getting to, achieve a goal in a sport, whatever it is in your life, don't give up on that. Like, you're going to take a few steps forward, but then you're going to take a few steps back. Always. There's always going to be setbacks, and things are going to be hard, especially as you get closer to that kind of like that end result, right? It gets harder and harder as you go up that ladder. So I think that the main thing is one of my coaches would always say, like, I'm like, oh, I hurt my back. I'm supposed to be doing these squats. It's like, well, you know what? Don't stop moving. You may not be able to do squats, but you can do shoulder presses, or you can do something else. It's a blessing in disguise. Keep moving, because you're not stopping. Don't stop, right? So if you want to achieve something, you want to be successful, is just keep moving forward, 1 foot at a time. You will step back you'll step back a few, but you will continue forward once, that you resolve that little setback. It's always going to happen. There's no one that gets out of it perfect. There's no perfect route to success, right? It's hard work. It's difficult, right?
Yeah. Speaking of success, what does that word mean to you? How do you define success?
Being successful to me is the result of an achievement of a desired vision or goal.
Okay.
I guess, like I said, just you set goals through your life of what you want to be or where you want to be, and you set small goals, like short-term goals. You set also your end result, long-term goals, and you just kind of work at little steps at a time through it, right? You have a vision, you have a dream, you have a goal. Well, you're not going to be able to go from 0 to 100. Nobody's able to do that to get to that end result. You're going to have to take it into small steps. So just, it's the end result, but you want to be able to, 1 step at a time, work towards that main goal. But if it means getting a little bit and you're like, okay, I got to this first step, I got to this little platform here, and I'm going to move to the next platform, and I'm just going to keep going up into the next little platform until I get to that spot. Right. I think that's the best way to look at it for myself anyway.
Who are the 3 people that have been most influential in your life?
I want to say, for starters, like my parents have been huge for me. I've always been so supportive. My dad, especially with the whole firefighting in the career, he's really, shown me the way there, and I'm happy to make him proud and follow in his footsteps. And my mom being sort of always the pusher to be, you're committed to that team. You make sure you go to your practices, you make sure you stay committed. Like that taught me so much, So, I mean, they taught me to be committed, driven, humble. There's so many things, right? So I have to give it to my parents for that one. And then I want to say, I mean, not specifically, I've had a lot of coaches in a lot of sports, but I want to say some of my coaches just inspiring me. And not only the good ones, but the bad ones. I learned so much from like little bits and pieces from each coach. Sometimes you have a great coach. Sometimes you have one that's like, maybe they're not so great. And, you move on to a different level and you get a different coach. But, I mean, I've had some say, like, for instance, in weightlifting, where it's like, okay, this coach was great. He taught me so much technique and it was awesome. I learned so much from him. But he was like set in his old ways where he was like, everybody does this style of programming. It's good for everybody. And I'm like, I'm 36. This girl's 20 over here and we're doing the same thing. Like my body's falling apart. This is not a good idea. Right. And you end up injured and you're like, okay, well, you learned your lesson though from it. Right. Like, yeah, they taught you. So it's, just having coaches inspire me and to learn from, and then just having like friends, like friends that are like-minded, like having one of my best friends, she does weightlifting as well. And she inspires me so much every day. She understands like, the whole committing and not, if I want to say, hey, like her name's Nikki. Hey, Nikki, like, do you want to just hang out? But let's not drink, because we both know that, we're not going to be able to perform well if we're constantly drinking, or maybe we're on a weight cut because we have to make our weight class. And it's like, people don't understand that whole, well, I can't eat that because I have to stay on track in order to make the weight for this competition, right? And just so having friends and being able to train with people that are sort of like-minded and all that has been sort of like inspiring to me.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
So if I could go back, I would definitely tell myself to listen to my parents. I mean, parents and older adults, I mean, it's hard to do that because you kind of have to go through some experiences to understand it for yourself. But I wish that almost like I had listened a little bit more on some things. I would go back and tell myself, I would tell myself not to care so much about what other people thought. I think when you're young, especially in high school and stuff like that, I wish I could go to girls and say, like, don't worry. Like, I know you're feeling stressed because this girl didn't want you to join her group or whatever, or they were making fun of you. You will never see these people again. These aren't the people that are gonna be in your life. The people that will be in your life in the future, they're gonna be way down the road. Like, I don't know. Do you have a lot of friends from high school? I have a couple of girlfriends that I love that we stick together.
I have a few.
Man, like, not many people do, right? There's one or two, right? Usually it's not like, you didn't hang out with you're not going to hang out. It seems like the end of the world at the time, but you're not going to hang out with those people in the future. So what do you care what they think anyway, right? I mean, when you're young, it's hard to believe that, but I wish I would go back and say that to myself,
Awesome. I love it. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for being a guest today and sharing all your insights. You are an absolute inspiration. I love your spirit and your competitive nature, and just I can feel it coming through the phone. You're good people. You've got an amazing heart and you're a beautiful soul. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm so impressed with all that you've shared and your drive and your determination. It's just incredible. I love it.
Well, thank you so much, Brad, for having me and for saying all that. I love what you're doing right now. This is amazing. Thank you for having me. I wish you all the success in what you're doing here in the future. You're doing such a great thing, and it's inspiring to me. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of the Empowerography Podcast. My guest today has been Stephanie Gowanlock. She is a firefighter, mom of 2, and a weightlifting competitor. Thank you again, Stephanie, for sharing your insights and your journey. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Brad. Have a wonderful day.